Guys, my name's Shihab, and I'm super excited to be talking to you about launching into new markets with JIRA Service Desk. Now, it's been just under a year since we announced our first ever APIs for this product right here in beautiful Barcelona. And I'm thrilled to announce that we already have over 350 JIRA Service Desk compatible add-ons on the marketplace today. Now, this is an incredible number. But in this talk, I want you guys moving past building for JIRA Service Desk compatibility, and I want you to really take aim and launch yourselves into the markets in which JIRA Service Desk excels. Now, I've split this talk up into two parts. The first part is around why you should be building on top of JIRA Service Desk. So what are the opportunities in this space? And in the second part of this talk, I want to focus on the how. So what are the APIs that are available, and how can you get started with building add-ons and integrations for this product? Now, before we dive in, I just wanted to get a quick show of hands. How many of you guys are currently using JIRA Service Desk or have helped deploy Service Desk for a client? Wow, that's almost the entire crowd. Well, you guys are among the 20,000 teams and counting around the globe using JIRA Service Desk. It is the fastest growing product in Atlassian's history. Now, in order to build for this product and latch on to some of this incredible growth, you really need to understand where the product came from. You see, JIRA Service Desk was born about from a real customer need. A few years ago, we were researching what customers were using JIRA for outside of software development. And we found that a large chunk of them, 40%, were using JIRA to run their IT service desks. Now, there's nothing really wrong with that. JIRA is a super flexible product. You've got custom fields, powerful workflows, permissions, notifications. You can pretty much model any business process with it. But as we dug deeper, we noticed that aside from tracking their own work, there were two key challenges facing these service teams. Now, first up, they needed a way to connect with their customers, many of whom were non-technical employees, even within their own organization. And they themselves often dealt with a high volume of tickets, so they needed a way to effectively prioritize and efficiently work through the tickets that were coming in. Now, these were the two fundamental problems that we aim to solve head-on with JIRA Service Desk, and we've built many features and capabilities over the years to address them, like an intuitive customer portal to help engage end users, to make it easy for them to create and track their requests. We've integrated a knowledge base backed by rich articles from Confluence, so customers can save time by helping themselves. Now, on the other side, we've built shared queues to help service teams specialize and focus on the most important tasks. SLAs to help prioritize and measure against time commitments. Reports to help visualize performance and discover insights. Automation to reduce repetitive tasks and scale up the team. And more recently, we've added workflow capabilities like approvals and out-of-the-box templates to help teams get started with industry-standard best practices. Now, we've got a huge team at Atlassian, and we'll keep adding more core features and core capabilities to this product. But IT is way more than just a service desk. And that's why we'd love to get each and every one of you, our ecosystem vendors, to help out. So what are some specific opportunities for integrations and add-ons for the IT market? Well, one such opportunity is to build integrations with monitoring tools. So when a system goes down, you don't have to wait for a user to complain. An alert could automatically be created inside JIRA Service Desk and assigned to someone for further investigation. Now, you can also get a bit more sophisticated than that. You could detect that a few similar alerts have occurred. Node 1, out of memory. Node 2, out of memory. Node 3, oh crap, maybe something bigger is going on. Now, you could build an add-on that has enough smarts to know when to raise an incident from a pattern of these alerts, so it can help reduce noise for the IT team. Now, these teams often deal with a lot of different symptoms of the same underlying problem. Now, you could build a solution to correlate the system-generated incidents to user-reported ones and link them back to problems, root causes, and bugs that can get escalated to the right team. Now, fundamentally, JIRA Service Desk can be the system of record for IT teams. And a key area that we hear time and time again from our customers is the need for asset tracking. Now, there's an awesome opportunity here to build add-ons and integrations that can generate these asset catalogs so that incidents, problems, changes, and service requests can be linked back to applications, hardware, and software. Now, you can even model the dependencies between these assets to help IT teams better analyze the problems when they do occur. Automation. Now, you can already track changes and model approvals natively inside JIRA Service Desk. But as add-on developers and ecosystem partners, you could take it to the next level. So when a change request is approved, you could execute that change and make it happen. Password resets, key generation, server provisioning, deployments, all of these things are possible without the need for human intervention. Now, another hot area for integration is outbound alerting. JIRA Service Desk provides pretty flexible email templates out of the box. But you can easily extend this to other forms of notifications like sending SMS, push notifications, chat alerts, and so on. Or you could get really out there and embed rich forms of communication, like the ability to initiate screen sharing or a remote desktop session right from within a JIRA Service Desk ticket. Now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of opportunities here for the ecosystem to really supercharge these IT teams. But just like we said, IT is more than just a service desk. Well, JIRA Service Desk is much more than just IT. Now, let me share another amazing statistic with you guys. Aside from using JIRA Service Desk for IT, from recent surveys, we found that over 60% of JIRA Service Desk customers are using the tool for external customer support. Now, let that sink in for a moment. 60% of JIRA Service Desk customers are using JIRA Service Desk for external customer support. Now, this is amazing because we didn't build the product ground up for this particular use case. But there are aspects of the product, like the customer portal, the pricing model, the integration with the dev team, and more recently, the ability to group customers into organizations, brand email templates, anonymous access to the portal, multi-language support. Now, these are things that tick enough of the boxes for our customers to choose JIRA Service Desk for customer support. But what that really means is that there's plenty of opportunities here to build high-value add-ons and integrations to really launch yourself into the customer support market. Let's take a quick look at some of these specific opportunities. Multi-channel integrations. So out of the box, JIRA Service Desk provides a web-based portal and an email channel so that customers can create and track their requests. But you could build add-ons to extend this out so customers can get help through the phone, through chat, SMS, and so on. Now, you could also build social media integration so that an angry tweet or a ranting Facebook post can automatically create a customer case inside JIRA Service Desk that your support team can deal with. Now, once a ticket's been created, you could provide CRM capabilities and pump in relevant data from external sources, or build company-specific contract management and link that back to SLAs. Now, you could take it one step further and calculate or even predict the penalty rates for breaching these service-level agreements. Now, another core consideration for customer support is recognizing that support is provided in the context of a company's product, a company's service, a company's brand. Now, even though JIRA Service Desk provides some basic theming capabilities out of the box, there's an opportunity here for add-on vendors and integration partners to really create that tailor-made experience that matches a company's theme. Now, you could take that one step further again and embed customer support directly within products and applications, so users don't need to switch context just to get help. Now, there's loads more opportunities to build add-ons and integrations for customer support. But there's also one emerging use case within JIRA Service Desk that I'd like you guys to think about. And that's business services. Now, these are teams like facilities, HR, finance, legal, and so on. Now, most of these teams have just migrated away from email and are beginning to see the light by offering structured services to the rest of the company. Now, you can empower these teams by building use case-specific add-ons. So, for example, for HR, you could parse resumes and post job listings online. Or for finance, you could automate purchase requests and build accounting-specific reports. Now, some of you guys out there are experts, so you'll notice what we've noticed. Service desk spreads like wildfire within organizations. Some have over 100 different service desk projects in the one org. So we only expect this opportunity to grow with time. Now, I've talked a lot about markets, numbers, and opportunities for building add-ons on top of JIRA Service Desk. But now let's move on to the how. How do you actually build on top of this product? Well, the how comes down to API. We've conceptually split up our API into 3 major parts: getting data in and out of JIRA Service Desk using the REST APIs, reacting to change by using webhooks to orchestrate actions in remote systems, and being one with our user interface, so surfacing your own content directly within the customer portal or the agent interface. Now, before I dive into the API, it's worth noting that JIRA Service Desk is standing on the shoulders of the giant that is JIRA. So all the API and plugin points that are available on the JIRA platform, you can make use of them when you're building add-ons and integrations for JIRA Service Desk. So when you look at a ticket in JIRA Service Desk, the issue key, the summary, the fields, the description, attachments, issue actions, all of these capabilities are already accessible using the comprehensive and well-documented JIRA platform APIs. You see, issues are part of the JIRA platform. So an issue in JIRA software is more or less the same as an issue in JIRA Service Desk. They both have a summary, they both have a description, they both have custom fields, follow a workflow, and so on. Now, in addition, JIRA software provides the ability to put these issues into sprints and plan out releases, whereas JIRA Service Desk provides additional functionality, such as SLAs, customer organizations, approvals, and so on. Now, in addition to the platform APIs, we provide a purpose-built JIRA Service Desk REST API so you can access these additional capabilities. So you could use the JIRA Service Desk REST APIs to build add-ons that pull out these SLA metrics and build organization-specific reports. Now, Service Desk also has a whole other side to it that gives customers a simplified yet restricted view into the ticket. Now, here's a view of the same ticket shown on the customer portal on the right. Well, for you, on the left. As you can see, some of the fields have been renamed. So instead of component, the customer is asked, what system does it affect? And instead of description, they're asked to provide additional information. Even the status of this ticket has been renamed from waiting for customer to waiting for your response. And many of the other fields that carry internal information about the ticket, like the issue type, the priority, labels, even the assignee, they've been hidden away from the customer's view. Now, just as you'd expect, JIRA Service Desk provides additional REST APIs that presents this ticket information from the customer's perspective. Now you can get all the customer-friendly fields and statuses, as well as that restricted view into the ticket. So you can be sure that none of the internal fields or internal comments will leak out. Now, we've also recently added the ability to perform actions on behalf of these customers. So you could share the request with others, add request participants, you can control notifications, perform workflow transitions, approvals, comments, add attachments, and so on. You can pretty much drive the entire customer portal experience using the JIRA Service Desk customer REST APIs. Now, the neat thing about JIRA Service Desk, for those of you that don't know, is that we've got agent-based pricing. Now, that means only Service Desk team members are required to be licensed as fully paying agents. The customers of JIRA Service Desk, the end users, they're completely free. So if you use the JIRA Service Desk customer REST APIs, you can effectively create tickets for an unlimited number of end users. Now, this opens up some pretty interesting opportunities to build add-ons and integrations. Let's take a quick look at a few examples. Now, one easy integration you can whip up using the REST APIs is something like this. It's a contact form for a website. In fact, this contact form is actually live on the Atlassian website. It's used by our customer advocates team to collect structured questions that they can quickly respond to as a team. Now, this doesn't even look like JIRA Service Desk, and that's exactly the point. You control the full rendering, so you have ultimate control over the layout and the brand. But you don't have to provide a form to create these tickets. We've got various add-ons and integrations on the marketplace today that can create tickets on behalf of machines. So when a certain threshold is exceeded, like CPU usage or downtime, the add-on can automatically create an incident using the Service Desk REST APIs. Now, the benefit of using the REST APIs, instead of just plugging in something basic like email integration, is that you can store structured information in these tickets. Now, this information can then be used to drive things like SLAs, automatic routing, and linking between tickets. So you elevate these alerts from being simple notifications to being incidents that you can robustly track inside JIRA Service Desk. Now, another interesting integration that makes use of the REST APIs is the call center add-on by Witified. Now, users dial in to an actual phone number to get help. The add-on looks up the list of options from the customer portal, and it reads them out through the phone audio. Users effectively drive the customer portal interface through the phone call and can end up outlining a fully transcribed ticket that the add-on can then create via the REST APIs. Now, another ecosystem partner of ours is Olark. They specialize in providing embedded chat experiences. Now, customers can directly request help on a website, and agents can reply to them in real time. Now, they've recently opened up the ability to create a customer case using chat commands. Now, their add-on uses the Service Desk REST APIs to create a ticket on behalf of the customer, so a more involved request can continue asynchronously after that chat session has ended. Now, the ticket that gets created has the full chat history appended to it. So when another agent comes up and picks the ticket in the future, they have complete context of the customer's request. Now, one of the neat side effects of this is that agents can search for and report on these chat conversations using JIRA Service Desk. Now, time for one last example. Refined Theme have brought their sophisticated theme designer from Confluence to JIRA Service Desk. They allow customers to create rich layouts and designs without the need for admins to write a single line of code. Users can even create their own custom content and navigation items and have them appear seamlessly on the customer portal. Now, as you can see, they've done an awesome job in styling up the portal, and the way they do this under the covers is pretty amazing. They recreate the entire customer portal, the ability to create and track requests using the JIRA Service Desk REST APIs. Now, hopefully these examples have given you a taste of what's possible using the Service Desk REST APIs alone. Now let's move on to the next class of API. That's reacting to change within JIRA Service Desk. Now, JIRA Service Desk ships with a pretty powerful automation framework. So admins can create rules like when a certain trigger occurs, like an issue is created or a comment is made. If it meets certain criteria, then you can take a specific action. So you could automatically transition the issue or alert a specific user. Now, I'll run you through a few quick examples so you get the idea. This is an example of automatic triage. So when an issue is created via email and it contains the word account, automatically set the request type to fix an account problem. Now, all emails mentioning the word account will get routed to the right team. Now, here's another example. When an SLA is about to breach, on a high priority ticket, notify the team lead using an @mention. That way she can try and step in before that breach actually occurs. Now, automation gives admins the building blocks they need to craft these rules so that they can help their service teams save time and work more efficiently. But these rules, they're not just limited to performing actions within JIRA Service Desk. We've opened up automation so you can orchestrate actions in remote systems using webhooks. So you can construct rules like this. When an issue is created, if, say, it's a request to update the user's details, then fire a webhook to a remote service. Now, you can configure the webhook URL, provide optional headers, choose to include the request data in the issue payload. But if you look at the bigger picture right now, when a user wants to change their name, for example, you can fire off a webhook to an internal service that can verify the user's details and execute that change in LDAP. Now, once the changes have been made, you can use the REST API to update the status of that ticket from to do, in progress, to done. Now, this is kind of cool because you can start to model real-world self-service. Directory changes, permission changes, access control, provisioning. All of these manual tasks can be automated away. Now, webhooks are awesome for system integrators and expert partners out there. But for add-on developers, we've introduced the ability to package up these remote actions and sell them as new Lego blocks on the marketplace. For example, you could build an add-on that knows how to send outgoing SMS. As an add-on developer, you provide the name, the webhook URL, and the configuration UI that gets used to set up that action. You control the contents of this configuration, so it can be as elaborate as you need. So in this case, it's pretty simple. We have a basic form with 2 fields, who to send to and what to send. Now, this configuration state, it gets saved with the rule. So when the rule fires, your add-on receives a webhook with a payload consisting of the issue details and that configuration state. So you have all the information you need to generate and send that outgoing SMS. Now, the neat thing here is Service Desk administrators, they don't need to know any of that. They don't need to know what's going on under the covers. They simply now have the ability to craft rules like when an issue is created, if it's a Sev1 incident, then send an SMS to the incident response manager. Now, we've already got some add-ons and integrations that take advantage of this capability today, and they take this concept even further. For example, XMatters provides the ability to model rosters of who's on call using a time-sliced calendar. Now, they use webhooks to listen for changes in JIRA Service Desk. So when a new ticket comes through in the middle of the night, they can use the roster to figure out who to wake up and what channel to use. Now, another add-on, Elevator, models escalation policies for issue assignment. So if the first person that gets the call in the middle of the night hits the snooze button, the add-on continues escalating up the chain. They also provide automation building blocks, so admins can define their own custom logic for automated issue escalation. Now, Utility, on the other hand, brings AWS automation right within JIRA Service Desk. IT teams can configure rules like publish SNS messages, invoke serverless Lambda functions, or run workflow step functions using AWS orchestration. So now when a change request is approved, it's immediately kicked off in the cloud. Now, there are many more cool integrations and add-ons you can build just by reacting to changes in tickets and making them happen in the real world. But let's move on to the third and final class of API, and that's integrating with the JIRA Service Desk user interface. Now, Atlassian products were known for their pluggability and extensibility, and we've continued this tradition inside JIRA Service Desk. As I mentioned before, the Service Desk product has 2 distinct interfaces, one for agents and one for customers. Now, let's start in the agent interface, where most of the work gets done. Now, this part of the screen should look very familiar to all of you out there, because it's JIRA's view issue screen. Now, you can plug into this screen using web panels from the JIRA platform. In fact, that's how Service Desk draws its own SLA panel and its related knowledge base article panel within JIRA. Now, these issue panels are an awesome way to provide contextual information about a ticket. Let's take a quick look at a few examples. Here's an issue panel that's provided by Atlas CRM, showing more details about the reporter, their company, and further contact information. Here's another example that provides a reference back to the underlying alert from a monitoring system that generated that incident. Now, you can even provide actions within these panels, like the ability to call back the reporter directly from within the ticket. Now, there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do with these panels, but let's move one level higher. Agents pick off these issues from a shared queue. Now, this allows admins to split up their service desk into areas of specialization, like a special queue for the incident response team, one for service requests, change requests, and so on. Now, in JIRA Service Desk, these queues are already pretty flexible. Admins can define the criteria for which issues to show up. They can control the ordering of these issues, even the columns that get displayed. But as add-on developers, you can create your own custom queues and fully control the rendering. So you could do things like build a custom queue showing live phone calls or live chats, where an agent can jump in and answer a call or join an existing chat directly from within the queue. Now, here's a different example, pulling a bunch of security events from a remote system. Now, this queue allows service teams to easily choose which of these events deserve to be treated as incidents and which are safe to ignore. Now, another core aspect of JIRA Service Desk is reporting. Now, this is a custom report that was created by our own IT admin at Atlassian, showing a breakdown of tickets created based on geographical office. Now, reports like this can be user-constructed using pretty powerful JQL. So again, there's quite a bit of flexibility baked into the product. But instead of limiting our users to just time series and bar charts, we've opened up the reports UI so add-on developers like yourselves can craft entirely new reports. So you could build visualizations like pie charts, to tag clouds showing common topics in tickets that have cropped up, or even an entirely different way to visualize activity on a global service desk. Now, there's a lot of room for creativity when you think about custom reports. But let's move one level higher on the agent interface again. Above queues and reports is the agent sidebar. Now, you can plug into this primary level context too for new high-level constructs. Now, you might want to have a quick way to view all the assets, applications, or services associated with a particular service desk project. Now, again, as an add-on developer, you have complete control over the content, so you can visualize these new top-level items as you see fit. Now, an interesting example that you can draw inspiration from is the Insight add-on by Riata. They render a rich graph of connected assets that the IT teams can navigate and explore. Now, there's plenty of opportunities to plug into the agent interface, but now let's look at the other side of the coin, the customer portal. Now, the Help Center is the landing page of the customer portal, and many add-ons have wanted to get their content to appear on this prime real estate. So we've opened up the ability to plug into certain areas of the portal, like the header, the subheader, and the footer. Now, you can build some pretty cool add-ons, like you could detect that a new user has logged in for the very first time and help them on board. Hey, Alison, welcome to Atlassian. Here are some guides to help get you set up. Now, you could also craft team-specific panels, so IT can advertise their walk-up hours. Today is Walk-Up Wednesday. Come drop by the team on level 6 between 2 and 5 for any IT help. Now, this is the perfect place to advertise other ways to reach the team, like a phone number or a link to live chat. Our own status page team have used this integration point to communicate the status of known errors and outages. Now, this can help keep end users informed and reduce the number of duplicate tickets that the service desk team have to deal with. Now, add-ons can also collect custom input on the request forms themselves using issue fields and request panels. So for example, Proforma helps business teams get started by providing curated form templates for a variety of different business processes, from finance through to HR, procurement, risk and hazard management. It's a huge list. Now, the add-on dynamically injects rich content and fields into the request forms using this request panel API. Now, once a request gets created, aside from the usual header and footer integration points, we've opened up the ability for add-ons to provide their own request actions and panels. So this allows you to do some pretty cool things. So you could give customers the ability to easily call back support, or give them quick access to their recent related tickets, or even embed a screen recording, or start a screen sharing session right from within a ticket. Now, there's many other places you can plug into on the customer portal, and we plan on adding more and more integration points as time goes on. Now, I've talked a lot about injecting your own content directly into the customer portal. But one thing we've started to explore and tinker with is the ability to do the reverse. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell's going on? What's the reverse of injecting into the customer portal? Well, we're exploring the possibility of injecting the customer portal into your own user interface through higher level APIs. Now, we want to make it easy for developers and expert partners to embed a portal-like experience for end users by injecting an iframe or a single line of JavaScript. You can think of it like Issue Collector, but for JIRA Service Desk. You could embed it on your intranet, your website, or even a web application. Now, it's still really early days, but just for you guys out there, if you're interested in getting early access once this is available, you can sign up at bit.ly/JSDembed. So just to wrap up, we've covered quite a lot of stuff in this short talk. Hopefully, we've inspired you to launch yourselves into new markets of IT, customer support, and business services, and latch on to our phenomenal growth. We've touched on a variety of different examples and opportunities here. But what we'd really love to do is see the cool, crazy add-ons and integrations that you come up with to really win in these markets. Now, we've got loads of docs, examples, and tutorials on the API, so head on over to developer.atlassian.com/service desk and get started. Thanks.